Jude's letter delivers a significant warning to believers. It emphasizes the seriousness with which God views rebellion. The text reminds readers of divine judgment against disobedience. Historical accounts serve as evidence of God's response to defiance. The letter underscores the consistent consequences of rebellion throughout history. Jude initially planned to write about the joy of salvation. However, troubling influences emerged within the community. False teachers began to spread their doctrines. This necessitated a shift in Jude's intended message. False teachers actively distorted truth within the community. These individuals promoted and encouraged ungodly living among believers. Their actions posed a significant danger to the spiritual well-being of the faithful. The integrity of the believer's faith was directly threatened by these teachings. This distortion created a critical challenge for maintaining moral and doctrinal purity. Jude's message addresses an imminent spiritual danger facing believers. He urged them to earnestly contend for the faith, highlighting its critical importance. This contention is a defense of core religious beliefs and doctrines. The faith is presented as God's divine message, a sacred truth. It is a truth that requires protection from distortion or compromise. The message must not be reshaped by human desires or interpretations. Jude presented clear examples from historical archives. These examples serve to underscore his warning. The core message was about rebellion against God. Such rebellion invariably carries severe consequences. These consequences are depicted as undeniable. Historical precedents illustrate the gravity of disobedience. The narrative recounts God's intervention to rescue his people from bondage in ancient Egypt. This event serves as a foundational example of divine power and miraculous deliverance. It illustrates God's capacity to free the oppressed from severe servitude and hardship. The rescue highlights a demonstration of overwhelming strength and supernatural aid. Many individuals were delivered from Egypt, experiencing divine intervention. Despite their deliverance, they succumbed to unbelief during their wilderness journey. This unbelief manifested as doubt towards God's providence and guidance. They frequently complained against him, despite being saved from bondage. The Israelites, after their deliverance, faced a significant consequence due to their actions. Their rebellion against divine guidance and a pervasive lack of faith led to severe repercussions. As a direct result of these transgressions, many were denied entry into the Promised Land. This outcome highlights the critical link between obedience, faith, and the fulfillment of divine promises. Historical accounts offer profound lessons on the nature of divine intervention and human response. Mere deliverance from adversity is not the sole requirement for a complete spiritual journey. A crucial element is the alignment of one's heart with faith, even after being rescued. God expects unwavering trust from those he delivers from difficult circumstances. Obedience to divine principles is also a fundamental expectation following deliverance. Therefore, true deliverance encompasses both rescue and a continued commitment to faith and obedience. The biblical text in Jude references a significant event involving celestial beings. It highlights that even angels, despite their divine nature, faced judgment. This judgment was a consequence of their rebellion against divine authority. They abandoned their divinely appointed positions, leading to their condemnation. Rebellious angels defied divine authority, leading to their condemnation. As a consequence of their defiance, these angels faced severe punishment. They were subsequently bound in chains, symbolizing their loss of freedom. These chains were described as chains of darkness, indicating their desolate state. Their captivity is not permanent, but rather a holding period. They are held captive, awaiting a future day of final judgment for their actions. The concept of divine authority posits a supreme being as the ultimate source of power and control. This authority extends over all creation, encompassing both the physical and spiritual realms. No entity, regardless of its power or status, is exempt from this ultimate dominion. Even powerful celestial beings, such as angels, are subject to this divine sovereignty. Their actions and existence are under the purview of a higher, unchallengeable judgment. Punishment serves as a clear demonstration that no being stands above God's supreme authority. The cities of Sodom and Gomorrah are historically recognized as symbols of extreme moral decay. These ancient cities became infamous for their pervasive wickedness and immoral living. Their narratives serve as a profound cautionary tale within religious and historical texts. The inhabitants engaged in practices considered to be highly offensive and corrupt. The destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah is depicted as a divine judgment against their depravity. Their story continues to be referenced as a warning against societal and individual moral transgression. Divine patience reached its limit, signaling a critical turning point. Fire from heaven descended, completely destroying the cities in question. The ruins served as a stark reminder of the events that transpired. Persistent rebellion ultimately leads to severe and ultimate judgment. Jude directly addressed the presence of false teachers within the community. He employed powerful historical examples to illustrate his warnings. These examples served as direct admonitions against contemporary misconduct. The behavior of these false teachers mirrored established patterns of rebellion. Jude highlighted the continuity of rebellious actions across different eras. His message aimed to expose and caution against these deceptive individuals. Individuals exhibited profound arrogance, rejecting established divine authority. They spoke presumptuously regarding spiritual matters, demonstrating a lack of reverence. This behavior stemmed from overwhelming pride, blinding them to critical spiritual truths. They remained oblivious to the severe consequences and gravity of their actions. Their conduct mirrored historical instances of disregard for divine warnings and guidance. The concept of the path of Cain originates from biblical accounts, specifically the book of Genesis. Cain, the firstborn son of Adam and Eve, committed the first murder in human history. His actions were driven by intense jealousy and anger towards his brother, Abel. Cain's offering was rejected by God, while Abel's was accepted, fueling his destructive emotions. This narrative serves as a powerful illustration of the severe consequences of unchecked sin and malevolence. Jude references this path to highlight the destructive nature of those who stray from righteousness. Balaam, a figure of spiritual influence, was driven by personal greed. He exploited his spiritual position for material gain. This demonstrates how temptation can corrupt individuals in leadership. His actions serve as a cautionary tale against avarice. Korah challenged the established authority of Moses, as ordained by God. This act represented a direct defiance against divine order and leadership. Korah's rebellion sought to undermine the spiritual and temporal hierarchy. The challenge led to a dramatic and sudden divine judgment. This event serves as an example of consequences for defying divinely appointed authority. The narrative describes a dramatic event where the ground opens up. This geological phenomenon specifically targets Korah and his followers. Their demise serves as a powerful demonstration of divine judgment. The event highlights the immediate and severe consequences of rebellion. This rebellion is directed against God's established order and authority. Such defiance is often rooted in pride, leading to dire outcomes. Throughout history, a consistent pattern emerges regarding rebellion. Rebellion inevitably encounters a form of divine judgment, God's justice, though it may appear to be delayed at times. Ultimately, divine justice never disappears or fails to manifest. Jude's message extends beyond warnings of impending dangers to believers. He also provided guidance on how to actively strengthen their faith. A key instruction was to build themselves up in their most holy faith. This involves continuous spiritual development and adherence to core beliefs. Another crucial aspect was consistent prayer, fostering a direct connection with the divine. Believers were encouraged to remain steadfastly within the sphere of God's enduring love. Believers are encouraged to offer compassionate assistance to those experiencing doubt. This approach recognizes the importance of understanding individual struggles. Mercy is identified as a crucial element in providing guidance. Compassionate guidance aims to help individuals navigate their uncertainties. The ultimate goal is to lead them back to a state of truth or conviction. This principle emphasizes empathy and support in spiritual or intellectual challenges. Jude's message highlights the dual nature of God's character, both just and merciful. God's justice is evident in his judgment against rebellion and disobedience. Simultaneously, his mercy is demonstrated through his protection of the faithful. God's ultimate desire is for repentance rather than destruction for humanity. This divine balance inspires humility in believers. It encourages treating God's grace with profound reverence and respect. Jude's letter concludes with a powerful affirmation of divine capability and ultimate triumph. It emphasizes God's ability to safeguard his followers, preventing them from spiritual missteps. The message highlights the presentation of believers before God's presence with immense joy. This signifies a profound victory for the faithful, secured by divine intervention and grace.